Howdy, y'all. It is Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom. It is time once again for a Necron's tier list. I thought this was a good time. I would really like to do some more focused on each of the individual units at some point. But right now we are in an interesting spot that 10th edition is out. We've had some small adjustments to point values for towering stuff. I guess it was just Seraptic Heavy Construct for us. But overall, this is a fantastic addition to look at. Necrons are in a really good spot. It's just some other things need to get adjusted on the lower end for other factions, and the higher end stuff needs to be adjusted up. So let's go through, and I want to give just my quick thoughts on where each of these characters and units end up being. Our very first one ends up being the one that I was afraid of, Enrakir the Traveler. He is an interesting unit that I would say, for me, he's a C tier on our thing, because we're just going S, A, B, C, D. Okay, there's no F tier, although some of them probably could be in its own little tier of its own. It's +1 of the wound roll, which is really cool, but he only goes in Immortals, so that's useful. I could see some play in him. The vehicle thing's cool. You know, we might adjust him. But Orc and the Diviner, if you know anything about him, giving 4+ invuln saves to a group. He is S tier immediately, and he's ridiculous. I love that the epic heroes for the Necrons went from useless in 10th or 9th edition to not just playable, but amazing at this point. So yeah, let's keep moving here. Locust Destroyers, I think, are great against anti-infantry, and I would actually put them at... Okay, here's my actual thoughts here. I'm tempted to put them S tier, because when you get the Locust Lord in with them, we'll just grab him real quick. He makes their critical hits be 5s and 6s, and they have lethal hits, which that means things get crazy really, really fast. And all of a sudden, these weaponries that aren't designed to take down tanks, but they have tons and tons of shots, can take down tanks. That's an amazing ability here. So yeah, overall, and they reroll, as long as they're attacking the closest edge of the enemy unit, they reroll hit rolls of 1 anyway. So they hit up on 2-ups with -2 AP with 2 damage with lethal hits. I'm not gonna lie, I think they're S tier, especially with the Locust Lord, because you can also give him the Sovereign Coronal to help like Locust Heavy Destroyers. We'll just grab them too. I think they're in an interesting spot that I think they might be S tier, but we'll put them in A for now, because I think they're just as good, if not better, than the Locust Destroyers. But they're weird because you don't necessarily want to put the Locust Lord in with them as often. Imhotep the Stormlord, he gives you +1 CP every of your turns. By itself, that alone makes him S tier. He's ridiculous. I would dare say he's up here with Orc and the Diviner. Just ridiculously good, just because of the +1 CP, but he also has his gauntlet that does some crazy mortal wound stuff, which is hilarious shenanigans. It's funny, +1 CP in 9th edition was okay, always useful, but not like it is now. Cryptek, I'm not sure what to do with him, because is he technically a Technomancer? Maybe, but anyway, we'll just leave him down there, because I think we'll have actual Technomancer down here. So let's go through all the heroes. Vargard Oberon, I actually think this thing is A tier. I think a lot of people rate him pretty low, and it saddens my soul, because I think the Fights First ability is really strong, and he gives Feel No Pain out to himself and Nimisor. Xandric, let's find Nimisor as well. Nimisor, by the way, is just fantastic here. Oh, there he is, Mr. Dabs himself. I think he's easily A tier as well. I don't know about S tier, but the fact that the Transient Madness thing, where he can just give out stuff to Lich Guard, especially Lich Guard, just makes them so much fun. So they get Fights First. Since there's a noble in their unit, the Lich Guard get the +1 to -1 to wound them. And they have their 4-up invuln with the swords and boards. You could go the War Scythes and then go like the Orc and the Diviner kind of way, and also have Crypt Thralls. crazy stuff. Like there's just so many good shenanigans here. So let's grab the Lich Guard. This is the version with the war size. They Lich Guard themselves at this point are easily S tier. Very, very good, very solid, very ridiculous. Let's go ahead and grab. I keep going through these, but trying to go to the characters themselves. Traz in the Infinite, he is a D tier. He's terrible. Don't even bother with him. And side note, I'm so happy that I found an old resin kit of Imhotep the Stormlord. So he's like the oldest model I have of Warhammer 40k, and really cool. Really a good unit. Cool stuff there. All right. The Lord, I think he's probably A tier. I'll put him in B for now. He's cool. Don't get me wrong. I think he's good. I haven't used him yet because in part I actually don't have one. I've got Overlords. I've got one Overlord? Two. Yeah, one Overlord, two Royal Wardens. I think I sold an Overlord, actually. Thinking I wouldn't need to, and then 10th edition came out. Because that was a year and a half ago when I had, two Overlords. I went, they're useless, so I don't need to have two. Because back then Overlord was still useful, but not like he is now. Now he's just silly good. +1 movement is good. Stratagems even when battle shocked. Yeah, he's at least B tier. We'll keep him there for now. Chronomancer, definitely an A tier. Very good. Very, very good. Could make a case for S tier. Overlord. Overlord again he's S tier, period. Reason being, stratagems for free. Crazy. That's bonkers silliness, right? We all know that getting to use a stratagem once per turn for free is just a lot of value. And he shows that value. So let's read it. My will be done once per battle round. One unit from your army with this ability can be targeted with a stratagem for 0 CP, even if you've already targeted a different unit with that stratagem this phase. So he gets it for 0, and even if it's already been used that phase. But it has to be a different unit. That's really interesting. Really powerful stuff. And he also has -1 to his damage characteristic, and I didn't think that was that good of an ability, but that is broken awesomeness. It really is. It's just broken good because Imperial Agent Sniper, 6 damage, and then you go, actually I take 5 so I don't die, so I don't even need to use my resurrection thing, stratagem to get him back. Crazy good there. Yeah. He's pictured twice. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, Overlord is S tier. Why is he back here? That's weird. Okay, so there's definitely some repeats on this list. That's funny. Let's go Psychomancer. Yeah, he's D tier. He's just meh. But the Plasmancer apparently is really, really solid. I'm gonna put him up here at least in A tier for now. I think he's a really, really good unit. Yeah, this has got repeats. That's funny. Huh. Weird. Okay. Well, we'll try to keep track. We've got Technomancer. Technomancer is also either A tier or S tier. Probably S tier, giving out Feel No Pains on his own and then some healing. He's just got really good usefulness all around. Hexmark Destroyer. He's an S tier, easily. It's weird because we now have so many things that are of high quality in our codex that it's like, okay, this is good stuff. So yeah, great place to be. Command Barge, I'd say it's B tier. It's easily targeted because there's nothing protecting it. So just warning, right? Void Dragon, from what I can tell, is really, really good. I think it's top of A tier. It's just it can be shot. The Deceiver is probably the lower tier of these. Nightbringer, I want to say, is B tier. I haven't gotten to use him yet, but he just seems like they slowed him down a little bit, which really does hurt. Yeah, it just hurts. So let's scroll down here and see. Yeah, they have so many repeats on this list. That's hilarious. So we'll just keep going. Silent King. I'm going to put him in C tier. I'm just so disappointed in him. Really frustrates me. Luminor Xeris, I think he's one of the top in A tier as well. It's hard because A tier is getting full of some nice stuff too. He seems really good. It's just the only problem with him is he's expensive. That's all. So just a thought there with him. The Scorpek Lord, I think he's good, but the problem is the thing he goes with makes him not as good. So I'd say B tier. Yeah, I think the Lord should move up a little bit at least. Let's see. This cracks me up. They don't have a Catan Shard of the Deceiver. They have it with the obelisk. Gross. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rate it twice. First with the Deceiver separate from it. It seems like the Deceiver, or sorry, the Transcendent Catan. So this is gonna be the Transcendent Catan review. It's an S tier because you can put the Semi-Eternal Weave on it to give it a 4-up Field of Pain on top of its already 4-up Invuln save, and it can teleport across when it advances, just within, not within 9 inches, and then just unload on stuff. And that can really, like, pause somebody's advance. It's kind of crazy to think about how strong that actually is. Bonkers good stuff there. I don't have one yet, but now I'm like, I want to try it. Interesting. So just the obelisk, though, on its own, D tier still. It sucks. It's terrible. Don't get it. All right. I think that hits most of the leaders. I'm probably missing something somewhere. Let's just keep going here. All right, so we continue here. Yeah, I think we've got all the characters. I'm sure I'm going to be missing one randomly. It's like really important. Yeah, this list is cracking me up because they've got like pictures over and over down here. Just grabbed it, thought, oh, this would be perfect for making tier maker list, and lo and behold, it has problems. All right, anyway. Let's see what else we can find here. Tesseract Vault. I think it's a cool concept. I just think it's a C tier right now. Just too expensive, maybe? I don't know. Triarch Stalker, at best, it's a B tier. It's usable. It's fine. It's fun. I have one now. 3D printed. It's cool. It's a lot of fun, but it's not great. Necron Warriors. It's funny. When the 10th edition was launched, we thought, man, they're not looking good. And now that we know about how 10th edition actually is working, holy cow, right? They are so much more than what we thought. And so they are clearly S tier up here. I don't know where to really put them, but they're just so easily protected. Scarab Swarms, honestly, they kind of feel a C tier at this point to me, because everybody's like, oh, they're still good, and then you go, they have 0 OC, they don't move as fast, they can do some more wounds on vehicles, which is cool, but that's it. I don't know, just not a huge fan. Oh, and they can drop the OC of other things down by -1 to a minimum of 1, so it's not actually to 0. Flayed ones, I'd say they're B tier. I think they're a cool concept, but I don't see them being very good because you can't take them in groups of 20 anymore. Ophidian Destroyer. Maybe a B tier. Maybe. I don't know. I don't see them being very usable, but we'll put them in B for now. Doomsday Arc. Everything I see and hear about these things is they're amazing, so they're definitely at least an A tier. They're a good tank. Good vehicle. Plasma Sight, it's funny, they're not even a unit anymore, so they just kind of exist. What do you do with that, right? They just basically follow Scorpek Destroyers and Ophidian Destroyers. I think Scorpek Destroyers are better than Ophidians now, kind of, but they lost them in Movement too, which really hurts. So I'm going to put them right beside the Scorpek Lord, because with the Scorpek Lord, they could be pretty dangerous, and the Plasma Sight can just go with them. But, Canoptic Wraiths, I still like them. I haven't used them again yet, but I think they may be in the B tier for now. We'll see. I want to say they're still, they're B tier. Tomb Blades, everything I see of them, they are an A tier unit. They're very fast. They get all their protective stuff. They are more expensive, obviously, but yeah. Trier Praetorians, I'm gonna put them in C tier. They're usable, but they're just, who's taking them? The answer is nobody. Annihilation Barge, this just seems like a bad or less good version of the Doomsday Arc, so I'm gonna put it down in the B tier. It's okay, but it's not great. Deathmarks. Honestly, Deathmarks kind of had a little bit of a glow up in this edition, and that's cool. Were they damaged 1 last edition, and now they're damaged 2? I think so, which is actually pretty significant. I've never really used them, and now I'm kind of tempted to say, hey, maybe they are usable because they have such a range on them. Let me see what the range is. Is it 30 or 36? I don't remember. Because all the ranges went down on things randomly, and then just a few things like our Locust Destroyers and Heavy Destroyers. The Heavy Destroyers went up, if memory serves, and it's like, what in the world? Why? Like, it's cool. I like it a lot. It's just, it's bizarre when everything else is going, no, we don't have range. And then you look over to this one group, and it's like, oh, no, we get all the range. Where's Deathmarks? Deathmark. No. There they are. 36-inch range. That's good. With -2 AP, that's one of our few -2 APs anymore, it feels like. So yeah, I'd say they're A tier. The Spider, I don't know. I think at best it's a in itself it's a C tier unit. It really is. It's the things that it does to help other vehicles that make it really usable still. Immortals. Actually, I think Immortals are still an A tier unit with the Deathmarks because they get the leaders and they can sit on home objectives and at least do some stuff in the background. Canoptic Doomstalker, I think, is again probably in the B tier of decent. Definitely better than the Scorpex. It's good. It's just not great, right? Next one we have is Monolith, and I think at best it's a B tier. People are like, no, it's amazing. Well, it lost tons of range. It still has no invulnerable save, which is really shocking considering how much stuff in our index got invulnerable saves. And unless you wait till turn 2 to spawn it, it's potentially able to be destroyed in 1 turn. And I've seen it happen. I've had it happen to myself, and that's insanity. Okay, so just understand that's my thoughts there. Cryptothralls, they go up to S tier. The Fort Feel No Pain, 2 wounds, getting to be put into groups of warriors, Lichguard, Immortals with the heroes. I mean, technically, if they were Crypteks, you could put them in other stuff, but they're not other Crypteks in like the Locust and the Scorpek units. Crazy though. The Reanimator, from everything I've heard and seen, this thing is an S tier as well. I don't know where you'd really put it up there, but it's just really good. An extra D3 of healing, and it's a 12-inch radius around it. It doesn't have to see anything. Crazy good. Doom Scythe. Yeah, Doom Scythe exists. Just the fact of it went up in points. It's lost some of its like -1 to hit. It's bottom of C tier at best. Ghost Arc. My understanding is healing is really good, and the transport, there's some crazy shenanigans, so I'd say it's potentially an A tier unit. Pretty cool there. We've already done Scarabs. What else we got here? Okay, we're down to weird stuff. So let's go down here. I'll give you a few thoughts on some of the other models. It's hard to rank them because I've never seen them on a table, really. The last big one we need to hit before we go to the Forge World models. We won't talk about the Night Bomb or whatever it's called because it literally doesn't exist anymore. Where is the Night Scythe? Night Scythe is literally, we'll just use this as the model for it, bottom of D tier. It's terrible. it takes turn 2 before it can come in, and then turn 3 before it can actually drop off its infantry that's in it. Way too long. Just no good there. Yeah, so what I'll say about the Forge World models overall, what strikes me is that most of them for the Necrons are just, they exist, but they don't take anything better than something on the field that's already present in our index. The only exception to that is the Seraptic Heavy Construct, which we'll use for a second because it went up in points quite a bit, and so I'd say it's at least still A tier. Really, really solid because it's a massive boy, and then if you have a spider and a technomancer nearby, it's crazy good. I just don't know what to do with it, but you do have the Tombstalkers and the other versions as well. I think Acanthrites right here are half decent, but we have Tomb Blades. We have other stuff too that does this stuff. The Tombstalkers and then the other versions, they're okay, but they seem like they're similar to just other units we have, like Canoptic Wraiths. So I'm not really going, man, yeah, I really want that over this thing. They look cool. They look really cool. Like, this is really pretty. The Pylon. You remember if the Pylon was in the the Forge World stuff. But the Night Bomber literally disappeared. The Tesseract Arc. It was cool looking. I'd love to have one, but we just have better stuff. Doomsday Arcs are a little better. So anyway, I think that's where I land with most of my ratings or rankings for these guys. And again, this up here is actually Transcendent Catan, not the Obelisk. The Obelisk is way down here at D. Just keep that in mind. And then Doom Scythe's right here at C tier, and then Night Scythe's down in D tier. Vehicle, aircraft now are just, they're so bad, and it stinks because the Combat Patrol for 9th edition, which I got for Necrons, I love having the Doom Scythe because it looks awesome, but it's a useless model. It's just a useless model. I haven't played it in 10th yet, and I probably won't for any foreseeable future unless there's a massive change. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Do you agree with my rankings? Are there some that you would go, whoa, no, that needs to be up in S tier, or go way lower? Where are you at on some of these? Because this is just from my experiences so far. Some of these things I haven't gotten to use yet. I own 6 Tomb Blades, which is now the maximum size for a squad, and I still haven't used them yet because there's just been other things that have been really interesting. Yeah. 10th edition is just fascinating because it really, for Necrons, supports big blobs. But I've been Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you join us and talk through what does it look like for you for a unit ranking for the Necrons. I've been Cody. Take care.